The average person earns roughly $30 an hour. Elon Musk makes over $22 million every single hour. But here's what will really break your brain. He still only has the same 24 hours you do. So, what's the difference? It's not luck. It's not talent. It's something far more fundamental, and by the end of this video, you'll never think about time the same way again. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Time is the great equalizer. Every billionaire, every president, every genius in history woke up with the same 86,400 seconds you're given today. Yet somehow, they've built empires while most people struggle to finish their to-do lists. Today, we're going to decode exactly how billionaires think differently about time, and more importantly, how you can start adopting these same mental frameworks right now, no matter where you're starting from. This isn't about hustle culture or working yourself to death. This is about a complete mental rewiring that changes everything. Let's dive in. Most people measure their time in hours. Billionaires measure their time in leverage. Let me explain with a story. Back in 1918, a management consultant named Ivy Lee walked into Bethlehem Steel Corporation and made Charles Schwab, then one of the richest men in America, an unusual offer. He said, "Give me 15 minutes with each of your executives, and I'll increase your productivity by at least 50%. Schwab asked, "What do you want in return?" Lee said, "Nothing, unless it works. After 3 months, pay me whatever you think it was worth." 3 months later, Schwab wrote Lee a check for $25,000. That's over $500,000 in today's money, for 15 minutes of advice. So what was Lee's secret? Simple. He taught those executives to ask one question before doing anything. Is this task worth my time, or should someone else be doing it? This is what modern billionaires call the $10,000 per hour filter. Here's how it works. Before spending time on any task, billionaires mentally calculate, if I were being paid $10,000 per hour, would this task make the cut? Answering emails? Probably not. Scheduling meetings? Definitely not. Making a decision that could generate millions? Absolutely. Warren Buffett famously spends 80% of his day just reading and thinking. Not in meetings, not answering calls, reading and thinking, because he understands that one good investment decision is worth more than 10,000 busy hours of busy work. The average person fills their calendar with low-value tasks and feels productive. The billionaire ruthlessly eliminates everything that doesn't pass the filter and focuses only on what creates massive value. Here's your first shift. Stop measuring productivity by hours worked. Start measuring it by value created. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Most people spend time. Billionaires invest it. And that single word difference changes absolutely everything. Think about money for a second. When you spend $100 on dinner, that money is gone, consumed, finished. But when you invest $100, that money works for you. It grows, it compounds, it multiplies. Time works exactly the same way. When Jeff Bezos was still running Amazon full-time, he made a decision that most CEOs would consider insane. He refused to take any meetings before 10 a.m. His mornings were protected for what he called high IQ thinking time. Not phone calls, not emails, pure strategic thinking. And here's the key. He would spend weeks thinking about a decision that might only take 10 minutes to announce. Because he understood something profound. Time spent thinking about the right thing creates exponential returns. Time spent reacting to whatever's urgent creates linear returns at best. Let me give you an even more striking example. In 2000, Reed Hastings, the CEO of Netflix, had a problem. His DVD by mail business was doing well, but he saw something coming that nobody else was talking about: streaming. The technology wasn't there yet. The internet wasn't fast enough. It would have been easy to ignore it and focus on the present. Instead, Hastings invested years of thinking, planning, and preparing for a future that didn't exist yet. He spent time on a problem with zero immediate payoff. Today, Netflix is worth over $250 billion. Blockbuster, who stayed focused on the present, is a punchline. This is the second billionaire mindset shift. Every hour you spend is either an investment with future returns or an expense that vanishes the moment it's used. Ask yourself honestly, how much of your time last week was invested and how much was simply spent? If you're like most people, the answer is uncomfortable. But here's the good news. Awareness is the first step. You can start shifting that ratio today. All right, now we're getting into the advanced territory. This is where billionaire thinking really separates from everyone else. Average thinkers ask, how can I manage my time better? Billionaires ask, how can I multiply my time? See the difference? One question accepts that time is fixed. The other question challenges that assumption entirely. Here's a concept that will reshape how you think about this. It's called buying back your time. Dan Martell, entrepreneur and investor, explains it like this. If your time is worth $200 an hour and you can hire someone for $30 an hour to do tasks you don't need to personally do, you've just created time out of thin air. But billionaires take this further, way further. Consider how Oprah Winfrey built her empire. She didn't just hire people to do tasks, she built systems. Her production company, Harpo Productions, is designed so that shows can be developed, produced, and distributed without her being involved in every single decision. She multiplied herself, her time, her vision, her standards, all baked into a system that operates with or without her presence. Here's another example that really drives this home. In the early days of Microsoft, Bill Gates realized something that changed his entire approach. He was the best programmer at the company, hands down. But if he spent all his time programming, Microsoft would only grow as fast as his fingers could type. So instead, he shifted his focus to recruiting. He spent enormous amounts of time finding programmers who were almost as good as him. Then he built systems to manage them. Then he created a culture that would attract even more great programmers. By 1999, Microsoft had over 30,000 employees. Bill Gates had multiplied his capabilities 30,000 times over. This is the third mindset shift, and it's crucial. Stop trying to save time. Start trying to multiply time. Every time you create a system, hire help, automate a process, or teach someone else your skills, you're not saving hours. You're creating weeks, months, years that wouldn't have existed otherwise. The question isn't, how can I do this faster? The question is, how can I make sure this never needs my time again? Now, we arrive at perhaps the most important difference of all, and honestly, this is the one that most people never grasp. Most people play what's called a finite game. There's a start, there's a finish, there are winners and losers. The goal is to win, to get to some endpoint. Billionaires play the infinite game. There is no finish line, no final victory. The goal isn't to win, it's to keep playing, to stay in the game, to keep building, creating, and growing forever. James Carse, a philosopher who developed this concept, put it this way: finite players play within boundaries. Infinite players play with boundaries. Let me show you how this looks in practice. When Amazon was finally profitable after years of losses, Wall Street expected Jeff Bezos to start maximizing those profits. That's what finite players do. They cash in their winnings. Instead, Bezos poured every dollar back into growth. New warehouses, new technology, new ventures like Amazon Web Services that didn't even exist yet. He was criticized relentlessly. Analysts called him reckless. But Bezos was playing a different game. He wasn't trying to win the quarter. He was trying to build something that would last and grow for decades. Here's how this applies to time. Finite thinkers ask, what can I accomplish this week? Infinite thinkers ask, what can I set in motion this week that will still be producing results 10 years from now? One more example, and this one is powerful. In 1994, A young hedge fund manager named Jeff Yass was offered a deal. He could sell his trading firm for $300 million. That's a massive payday, life-changing money. He said no. Why? Because he understood that the time he had invested in building his systems, his team, his methodology, all of that was compounding. The value wasn't in what the company was worth that day. The value was in what it would become. Today, his firm, Susquehanna International Group, is worth over $60 billion. That patience, that infinite game thinking, that understanding that time compounds just like money compounds, that's what separates the billionaire mind from everyone else. So here's the fourth and final shift. Stop optimizing for today's results. Start optimizing for lifetime results. Ask yourself, am I making decisions based on what feels good now or what will matter in 20 years? The answer to that question will determine more about your future than almost anything else. Now here's what I want you to do. Take just one of these four principles, whether it's the $10,000 per hour filter, investing instead of spending time, multiplying your time, or playing the infinite game, and commit to applying it this week, just one. That's all it takes to start rewiring how you think about time. And if this video shifted something in your thinking, if you felt that click of, wow, I've never thought about it that way, then do two things right now. First, drop a comment below telling me which principle hit you the hardest. I read every single comment, and I'm genuinely curious which of these ideas resonated most with you. Second, if you haven't already, join the MindsetMaster community. Hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss a video. We go deep on these topics: the psychology of success, the mental frameworks of high performers, the mindset shifts that actually create change. This is what we do here, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Right now, somewhere in the world, there's a person with the same 24 hours you have. They're not smarter. They're not luckier. They don't have any advantages you weren't given. But 10 years from now, they'll be in a completely different position than you. The gap will be enormous, almost unfathomable, and the only difference will be how they thought about time, not how they managed it, not what apps they used, not what productivity system they followed, how they thought about it. Time is the only resource you can never get back. Every second that ticks by is gone forever, and the billionaire mind understands something that most people miss. It's not about having more time. It's about extracting more life from the time you already have. So the question isn't whether you have enough time. You have exactly the same amount as everyone who ever built something extraordinary. The question is, what are you going to do with it? The clock is ticking. Your move, billionaire mindset, time management, how billionaires think, success mindset, productivity tips, wealthy mindset, time is money, mindset shift, millionaire habits, how to think like a billionaire, time investment, success habits, entrepreneurship mindset, mental frameworks, MindsetMaster. How do billionaires think differently about time? In this video, we break down the 4 mental frameworks that separate the ultra-successful from everyone else. You'll discover the $10,000 per hour filter that Warren Buffett uses, why Jeff Bezos protects his mornings for high IQ thinking, how Bill Gates multiplied his time by 30,000x, and the infinite game mindset that turned Amazon into a $1 trillion company. This isn't about time management hacks or productivity apps. This is about fundamentally rewiring how you perceive and use time itself. Whether you're an entrepreneur, professional, or someone who simply wants more from life, these billionaire mindset principles will transform your relationship with time forever. Learn the secrets of how billionaires invest time instead of spending it, multiply their hours through systems and leverage, and play the infinite game that creates lasting wealth and impact. Subscribe to MindsetMaster for weekly videos on success psychology and the mindset of high performers. Billionaire mindset, time management, success mindset, productivity, wealth mindset, entrepreneurship,